Okay. Alright, so... Jesus. Sorry, that's my ringtone. So, on this, kind of live stream that I'm doing right now, I did a couple things off screen. I drew some other guys. Right now, I'm going to throw down some ink, quote unquote, some kind of black lines on these guys here, just to, kind of define them up. We're going to call this one blue. Yo, listen up, here's a story. I'm going to call this Ink 1A. Now, inking, for me, I like to be pretty precise with it, so my process is that I find a little bit slower. I know there's some people who can just be like, bam, 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 ink, done. I like to, like, you know, really try and get the right line weight, and all that sort of jazz. So, let's start with this handsome fella here. And again, the nice thing about using a tablet is I can zoom in pretty good. So if I'm, like, say, doing his nose, I can really get in there and get the right stuff. Let's use the right kind of stuff. So, and again, typically I don't like to use... I like to be a little bit looser. It depends on the style that you're doing something in. One thing that I didn't talk about, that I meant to talk about on the last live stream, was your style. So what I mean by that is, and again, this is just all my opinion, and it could be right, it might not be. If it is, great. If it's not, whatever, you let me know your opinions as well. I always found that the style in which you're drawing has to, 9 times out of 10, has to reflect the story. So what I mean by that is, it's not too bad. This is going to be, these ones might be a little bit rougher because I don't want to spend like a huge amount of time on inking this shit. What I mean by that is, when you're designing a comic or a character or graphic design, whatever, business cards, whatever, your style has to reflect your project. And let's just use comics as an example because that's kind of the stuff that I'm working on right now. I always like to look at, if you haven't read it, you should, Batman Hush. It's a little bit older. It's a Jim Lee drawn story. I think it's Jeff Loeb who did the story. That I might be right on that. I might be wrong. I don't know. But anyway, for that I found that's my example of the perfect combination of style meets story. Because if you haven't seen it, Google it. Or if don't even Google it. Go buy it because it's a really good story. If you want a really good Batman story, Hush is like pretty good. It's pretty up there. Go check that out because you'll see what I mean by style meets story. And if Hush was done in the style of, let's say, Batman the Animated Series, right? That more cartoony look, it wouldn't have worked. And I think that's an important thing to remember is if I'm drawing a more gritty story, if Saul sends me a script and it is a darker tone, I think we once did a little project together that was like this kind of post-apocalyptic kind of storyline because everybody does that shit. And the challenge that I found being an artist or a cartoonist, I've never really considered myself an artist, to be perfectly honest. By the way, if you hear like a weird sound, it's because I have my fan on because my room gets like stupid hot. Because it is summer right now, and apparently we don't believe in air conditioning. But yeah, the challenge that I found was finding the right style to fit the story. And it almost becomes a sense of you have to like relearn certain things. Because again, I said on the last live stream, I like doing stuff in the style of like a, you know, for a long time, Darwin Cook. I don't like those too much. So that style wasn't reflecting the story properly. At least I didn't think so. I'm gonna black that all out, and then I'll add in his like pupils and shit later. And this will be kind of like a dead eye. Ugh, gross. This guy's gross. And we'll give it like some kind of weird look to it. Anyway, so that was the challenge, and again, that's why I said in the last live stream, it's always good as an artist to challenge yourself to. Sorry, I'm gonna check it. They're the creakiest fucking chair in the world. To really push yourself as an artist to expand your style base. And again, it's always good to have your style. Like, you don't want to just copy other people's styles unless that's specifically what you're going for or being asked to do. But it's good to have, I always thought it was like really good to have a couple styles like under your belt that you could do pretty easily or pretty accurately. Because that's another thing that we learned at school was if you get hired by a company, let's say you get hired to do Flintstones, and I know Flintstones aren't really around anymore, that's why it's an example, but you can't draw that style, well, chances are you're not going to stick around. They're going to find somebody who can do it. Like, I think it was like The Simpsons has like this huge animation team. I think it was like 60 people. It might even be more than that to animate The Simpsons. And there are multiple people who do, I think it's like they do different characters. Like there's somebody who does Homer. There's somebody who does Bart. You know what I mean? So I think that was it. I might be wrong on that, but I think that was it. And I'm going to shade this stuff in. Let's give him, let's put his tongue in here. It's weird that he didn't have a tongue. But again, what I mean by that is there are a bunch of different artists who work on that show who can all draw that style. And if you can have that style, if you can, you know, draw a couple different styles well, I always found it was going to expand your portfolio and make you more appealing. Now, that's from a pure animation standpoint. If you're doing a comic, I think the same rules apply. So, if let's say if you get hired to work on Archie, and you can only draw like a Jim Lee style, like a kind of a grittier, more realistic, let's call it, kind of style, or an Alex Ross kind of style where it's like it's almost like photographs. Well, chances are you're not going to have that job for very long because, again, the style doesn't meet the story. And Archie has and probably always will be more of like that cartoony kind of look, which is what it is. That's exactly what it's going for, and that's why Archie has lasted as long as it has. By the way, Riverdale. Let me know if you guys have seen Riverdale, because I have really mixed feelings on it. I've watched a couple episodes. It was almost like a hang on, I gotta make sure that this is actually all going through okay. But yeah, I watched a couple episodes of it, and I really didn't know how to feel about it. Let me just make sure that this is going through. Because, like, I remember watching the first episode, and, like, there's, like, a murder. And it's like, alright, that's fine. And that's a very Archie's Weird Mysteries kind of thing. Which, by the way, I really wish that was the show. Okay, so, let's get this, guys. Let's bump up this line to do kind of out here. Bingo, bango, bongo. And then, like, all of a sudden, Veronica and Betty are, like, pouring syrup on a dude in a hot tub, and I lost my mind. I was like, what the fuck? What is this? Like, this is not Archie. I don't know what it was, but that was not my Betty. My Betty isn't like this weird, crazy dominatrix who dresses up and pours syrup on dudes. It's such a weird show. And like, this, I don't mean this as like anything, but it was weird that like they made Moose gay, or like he's hooking up with that. I cannot remember the guy's character, but like the gay character on the show. But I'm like, wait, isn't Moose dating that like in the comics at least, dating that like blonde girl who's like the smart girl? Again, I haven't read Archie's stuff. Maybe it's changed. I don't know. But I found that was like sort of unnecessary, and how like Jughead and Archie are like aren't friends. They're like anti-friends. I don't know. I do like how they incorporated Jughead's crown though. It's just like a weird hat. Alright, I gotta get this ear. I gotta get this ear right. Let's give this guy a little bit of like a grittier... Again, this guy's just gonna be more gritty, yeah. And I like drawing stuff like this just to start my day, because it loosens you up. Again, it primes the pump, as they say. But like looking at him, like it's not a bad design. I might use him if I because he looks more of like a scoundrel, more like a villain. And a lot of these guys, I think this guy down here would be a little bit more like more the comic relief, right? I don't mean this in a bad way, but he would be more like the fat bastard kind of character, where he's just there to make jokes. There would be like a lot of food jokes around him and stuff, and he would always be eating. And I don't know, maybe that might be rude, but I don't know. That's just how I see that character. Because again, you got to put yourself in the character's kind of shoes, and again, especially for like a pirate comic. You know, you are going to have those guys who just eat and just like are total exaggerations. And especially in something like the idea that I have for this comic, which is it's a little bit more lighthearted, but I do want some like grittiness to it. But overall, it's going to be like just a silly story. Not to the sense of like a Monkey Island or something like that. Oh, did I draw? No? Okay. Never mind. But yeah, you can see that this guy's probably a little bit more of a villain character based on the fact that he has a scar and like over his eye. So immediately you're like, oh, he's a bad guy. But maybe he wouldn't be. Maybe he would be like, he would turn out to be like the Vegeta. He would be the bad guy to start, but eventually you would win him over or something. I don't know. Alright. Yeah, sorry about the fan noise, but again, it's just really hot in here, and it makes drawing on a tablet like agony because it's so warm. I don't know if I'm going to color these guys. I might later, but for right now, I'm not even thinking about that right now. I just want to get some inking down and show you guys just my techniques. Again, I don't have, being like using a super ghetto version of Photoshop, I don't have like all the fancy schmancy brushes and whatever, so yeah, you'll have to bear with me on that standpoint. I know there are tons of different programs out there where you can like buy these really cool like anime brushes and paint brushes and all this sort of stuff. I don't have access to really any of that, so I gotta use what I got. I gotta make do. And if I have to go over lines, if I have to give things different weight and stuff like that, then that's just what I'm gonna do. We'll give this guy some like liver spots. Whoa, what happened there? But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Riverdale, kind of weird. The fact that Miss Grundy is like smoking hot. And like the episode, I think it's the first episode where she's like driving around and she sees Archie and she has like heart-shaped sunglasses. I lost my fucking mind. I was laughing so hard when I saw that shit. Yeah, let's give this guy, we'll give him some like, I can give him some like grip, but only on like the one side because maybe he like was burned or this guy's seen some shit. You know, this guy's one of those characters who you don't want to fuck with him because he's been around. I don't know, because isn't Miss Grundy supposed to be like 70 years old? Like she just won't retire because she's a teacher and teachers just won't call it a day. They'll just keep jobs from younger people because they're like, fuck it, I'm going to do this job till I die because it's all I have. Because I devoted my life to teaching people and it got me nowhere. I'm sorry if you're a teacher and that's you. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, that looks cool. Like he's got some like, you know, maybe a kraken like sucked on his face or something. That sounded wrong. It sounded wrong, but it felt right. Oh shit. Oh my god. Who are we gonna ink next? Oh, yeah, this was just like a little skeleton guy who I just have to like make all kind of black. He's like, alright, let's do this guy. This guy looks like fun. What are we gonna call this guy? Let's name this guy, well, he's a pirate. He's a big guy. I'm gonna name him Shanty. Because maybe he's like the musician guy on board. Maybe he's the guy who's always singing. He eats and he sings. He's like one of the dwarves from The Hobbit. He's just always eating food and singing songs about large women. Isn't that a Princess Bride thing? Now, dream of large women. God, it's such a good movie. I don't know how people haven't seen Princess Bride. That's like, Princess Bride to me is right up there with, like, Ghostbusters and Back to the Future and like Pretty in Pink and stuff. It's such like a classic movie. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and go check out Princess Bride because it's so budget, it's so cheeseball, but that's where the charm comes from. And it's one of those movies very much like Back to the Future and unfortunately Ghostbusters did suffer from this. Don't remake it, just leave it alone kind of thing. You don't need to remake movies, like make your own shit. Alright, so we'll have this guy kind of looking this way. Again, we'll add some color to those eyes maybe eventually later. But yeah, I don't know. It sucks that like Hollywood just apparently doesn't have any ideas anymore, and when they do have a new idea, it seems to get shit on for some weird reason. Like what? Have you? I don't know. I sort of have noticed that like when a new idea comes out, like a new movie idea, people are like, "Oh, that looks stupid," but it's something new. Like it's something that we want, but at the same time, it's like we can't accept it because it's new. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being weird. Maybe I'm just being cynical. But it's sort of like the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Like a lot of people shit on it. They're like, "Oh my god, another one! There's too many of these." And I'm like, "There's 8 Fast and the Furious movies. There's what 5 or 6 Mission Impossible movies. There's hang on, where's this line gonna go? Okay, so it's gonna go down this way. There's like 200 James Bond movies. Like I'm okay with there being like 5 Pirates of the Caribbean movies, especially if they're good. Which the new one, I thought the new one was actually quite well done. I thought it was more interesting. It added like the new villain, like Javier Bardem. I hope I'm saying that right. Really played his character very well. You know, Salazar, really cool. I thought Salazar was more interesting than Davy Jones. I was never a huge fan of Davy Jones. Maybe it was the voice. I don't know. It's just I didn't like his voice. And I know he's a French guy, whatever. I don't know. I just thought Salazar was like more intimidating. He's a fucking ghost. How you gonna find Ghost? Can't fight a ghost, brah. Alright, let's darken these up. So, I don't know. I think if movies keep delivering and they're entertaining and you have fun with them, then it's fine. I don't know if there will be another Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I mean, it made so far. It made, I think it was like almost 800 million. So I mean, these things are making money. And if history tells you anything, if a franchise is making money, chances are the studios are gonna keep pumping them out. I think the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, like in terms of a franchise, is like number 6 or something, like of all-time grossing franchise. I think number 1, obviously number 1's the Marvel Universe movies, which I don't think should count. I don't know. It's like when I looked at the thing, it was like the MCU movies, so it's like all of them. But I'm like, I don't know. That seems like that shouldn't count. I don't know. That's like saying I don't. I guess the same thing can be said about James Bond movies, because they're not really a successive story, except for like the Daniel Craig ones that do follow some sort of formula. And then I think Star Wars was on there, obviously, and I think the Harry Potter movies were on there. Fun little fact: I've seen like 1 Harry Potter. No, I've seen the first 3, which were good, which were actually quite enjoyable, and then I saw the Prince. What's the Half-Blood Prince? Prince of Half-Blood or something, which nothing happened in that movie. The wizard guy, the old dude, the Gandalf dude, what's his name? Dumbledore or whatever. I totally said that wrong. Dumbledore, that's it. Dies at the end, very limp dick. And apparently it's very different in the book. It's more of a, like, it's a bigger moment. In the movie, it's just like Snape, fucking Alan Rickman just shoots him point blank with his magic wand, and he's dead. And that's all it took to kill like the most powerful wizard ever. Alright. Damn it. I don't know. I always thought it should have been called like Harry Potter and the Nothing Happens in this movie. Isn't that creative? Aren't I just the most creative person ever? There, give him some tear. Hey, how you doing? Hey, baby. Do I want that? No, I don't think I really want that. Maybe we'll give him like, yeah, we'll do something like this. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, I don't like that one. But again, and that's the other thing is like I'll play around with like lines, as you can clearly see. Like I'll try something out and go like, I don't like that. And then just get rid of it, because that's the joy of doing something digitally. And for a long time, I didn't want to get into the digital stuff, because I was just more a fan of like traditional art. Because again, going back to like Jack Kirby and Darwin Cook and stuff, I always found that their stuff looked really good because it was all done by hand. But you know, I'm not in the position to beggars can't be choosers. You know what I'm saying? So, let's zoom out on this guy a little bit. Yeah, that looks alright. That looks okay. He looks like he's having a good time. He's kind of a bigger, sillier character. We'll give him some hair up here and a bandana that goes across. I like him. Got a little tattoo down here as well. That's cool, baby. That's cool. What else do we got? Okay, let's thicken up the lines, because now we're going to go around. And if you guys, by the way, if you want me to do like some actual tutorial stuff, just let me know, because I'm more than happy to do that. Because I did used to, I did a little bit of teaching while I was in college for one of my professors. Actually, he hired me to do some stuff at like Montessori schools and shit, which was fun. It was a very good, fun learning experience. So I was very, very grateful for that, just to have that kind of opportunity to, again, it's a learning opportunity. You should never scoff at any sort of opportunity that is presented to you, because you might never get that chance again. And that's the nice thing with You know, with technology nowadays, you know, you have so many opportunities to put your work out there, be it a musician, an artist, an actor, whatever. There are so many different avenues for creative people to get noticed, which is awesome. And there's nothing I like more than you know, seeing somebody's, you know, really good work, or you can tell that somebody put a lot of time into something and it turned out great. Be it art or music or acting or whatever. And again, there's a lot of really great artists out there. There's a guy that I follow on Instagram at Jerkmonger. I hope I'm saying that right. And again, he does some drawing. Again, not really tutorials. It's just like him drawing, and he is, I believe, a professional artist. And it's really just cool to see like his process of doing things. And again, his stuff is a lot more by hand, so you see like the full process of something. And he's great. He answers a lot of questions. I've talked to him a couple times about different things. He's a very, very open book in terms of like knowledge. Like, you can really ask him anything, and 9 times out of 10 he will answer, which is awesome. So go to Instagram, follow him at Jerkmonger. You can follow me on Instagram as well at TenderGaming. Does that make sense? Is that where I want that? Oh, that's alright. We'll put like a scar kind of going through his, because maybe this guy's been through some shit too. Zoom in a little bit. There we go. I find that like when you zoom out too far on this, obviously you're gonna have some like pixel degradation. Okay, he's looking all right. He's looking like he's having a good time. Hey, how you doing, girls? Hey, why don't you come down in my helicopter dig? Yeah. All right. So what are we gonna do? I guess we'll throw his body down. Oh, your body. Your body, Batman. Your body. Not booty. Body. Well, booty, because he's a pirate. Ha! So for this, for his body, I'm going to try and up his line weight a little bit. Because I think it's always good to have variation in your line, your strokes and stuff. Because if everything follows one line weight, it almost looks too like an animation still or something, which is great if you are doing animation. But if you're doing a comic, you know, play around with your line weight. Just play around with it. Have some fun with it, because that's the whole point. It's the whole point of drawing, is to have fun. And I hate when people say like, "Oh, I suck. I can't draw." It's like it's not about being good or bad. To me, at least to me, it's never been about that. It's never been, oh, I'm a better artist than this person, or oh man, he's better than me, so I'm not going to do it. It's not about that. There are, much like anything, chances are there is somebody out there who does. I hate to say this, but chances are there's somebody out there who does what you do better, and that's anything. But it's not about that. It's about you. It's about you exploring your own creativity. Because it's like saying like, I'm gonna start a band, but Zeppelin's better than me, so fuck it. Why I'm not gonna do it because that band is better and more well known. And it's like, fuck, who cares? Just have some fun with it. Just enjoy the process. Enjoy the idea and the process of creating something from scratch and for you. That's the whole joy of it. You know, my buddy Chris on CL Gaming is, you know, training to be a professional wrestler. He loves like WWE and everything like that. And again, I always say to him, I'm like, it doesn't, you know, him and I have had many conversations where it's like, he's young, he's getting into it. There are going to be people who are going to be taking his spot, who are going to be more over than him or whatever. But it's not about that. There are thousands of very talented wrestlers out there. The point of it is you should just have a good time with it, and good things will come. You will connect with people if you're doing that. And I like his characters. He's kind of like this comic book villain. I really do like it. I think it's strong, and I really hope it does work out for him, because I think he's a very talented wrestler. I think he's going to be very talented. It's very difficult to say, like, oh, he'll make it to the WWE. Because, again, it's one of those things where there's so many thousands of very talented wrestlers out there who are all gunning for that spot. And there are great wrestlers, guys like Kenny Omega, who I don't think have ever gone to the WWE. Mainly, I think that's by choice. But it's like, hey, if you can make a living at it and you enjoy it, then go for it. Like, again, I don't see myself ever getting hired by, like, Marvel or DC or something, but it's not why I do this. It really isn't. I do this for the sheer joy of it. This is like, it's almost therapy in a sense of, I have fun doing this. And whether or not I make a living at this, or even if I make money at this, great. And if I don't, well, it's not like it costs me much to sit down and draw something. You know what I mean? And it's not like it costs Chris much to get into a ring and put on a match with somebody. You know? So, I don't know. That's just that's my view on stuff. Let's see how this is looking. Let's see how that arm looks. Zoom, make sure the picture... That's looking alright. There's this kind of glove gauntlet thing. And again, as I said before, I am not the fastest inker in the entire world, but I'm in no rush, baby. I'm just having a good time. I'm just enjoying the ride. All right, so let's throw his upper coat, whatever you want to call this, kind of down. We're gonna keep that little gap there for hair. This piece might come up, so we're gonna have to get rid of that piece right there. That's fine. Get rid of that. Okay. So that way at least I know where that's going. Another big thing I've always found important is you don't want to spend too much time on one area, because I think then you start overthinking stuff. Ooh, that's not a good line. Or you start, I don't know, you start losing kind of what you're going for. So it's always good just to, like, again, play around with different areas on a character. Ha! That sounded wrong. Or did it? Did it? I don't know, guys. I don't even know. Okay, so... And one thing you'll see typically a lot on my work is I like to have stuff sometimes not touch. Like you'll see here, like this line right here isn't touching. And that's intended, like, because when you look at it from a whole, like, your eye just fills that in anyway. So not everything needs to be, like, touching, right? Like, you can do the same thing, and it almost looks better in the sense that, like, your mind is filling in these gaps. You don't want to do it on everything, right? You don't want to have everything not touch, but, you know, I see that with Jim Lee all the time, where he does, like, a character, and he'll draw, like, a nose. So let's say this is a nose and a mouth. Hey, how you doing? All right. What am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Right? And then you'll have kind of that brow piece going up, and there's your eyebrow, and there's your eye or whatever. But a lot of the times you'll see him, he'll, like, leave that line out, because again, your mind registers what is in here, especially if you go in and you start adding in. Let's just bring down the opacity a little bit, and you start adding in filler, like you add in like smoke or something. Right? Something like that. Like you add in like a smoky effect or something. So it doesn't have to touch because your mind sees it. You see that line. And that is very crude, rudimentary drawing, but you get the idea. Let's get rid of all that. I didn't mean to erase that. Oh no. Damn it. Alright. I don't know why I do that. I do that voice a lot on the show, and I don't mean anything by it. It's just a fun, I don't know, it's just a fun voice to do. That sounds really weird. But just being like, damn it. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it. Oh, I gotta up that opacity, baby. So we'll bring, I don't like that. Let's get a little bit closer. Now that there, what I just did, this will sound weird. There's something you're taught is like there's quick lines and slow lines and stuff like that. So a quick line is just doing something quick, right? It's just like boop, boop, done. A slower line is like you're taking more of a time, but what I find with like a slower line, especially on a tablet, and especially if you're actually inking something, is you see a lot more like of the line broken up, which I don't like, especially if you're say you're cross hatching something. So if you're doing like hatching and cross hatching, going bang 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 bang, doing something like that. But if I were to do those lines slower, it actually doesn't look bad, but I don't know. There's just different. You got to play around with how quick your line strokes are. If you're trying to make something look a little bit smoother or flow a little bit better, it's just important. It's just you just gotta do it. Okay. Sorry, I tend to like ramble when I draw. Sorry. See, and the nice thing, I can go in like that, and I know that that's going to overlap, so I can just get rid of that, right? It's the joys of using a tablet. Joys of doing something that's like almost like animation-ish. And again, right here, I'm going to leave that line out because you know that this part is going to loop around. Like your mind already has established that. So actually, I'm going to bump down the line weight because now we're going to do kind of his clothing. But his clothing shouldn't have as thick of a line to it. Because I want his body to seem more big, more powerful. Let's fill that little guy in. Again, don't have to fill that in, especially if I'm going to color this later. The color is going to fill that gap in anyway, so I can avoid getting caught up on stuff like that. Okay, that looks alright. Alright. I had a little bit of like wrinklage in here. There are so many different ways to draw like fabric that's wrinkling. Typically, I think it was Jim Lee who said, if you have, say you have I'm gonna need some more space for that. If you have a nail on a wall, so that's your, say that's your nail, and you're gonna hang fabric over it, how is it gonna fall? It's not just gonna be like bang, bang, bang. It's going to, typically it's going to be centered on the nail part there and get a little bit bigger. So there's going to be more like wrinkles around that nail part because that's where all the stress is right here. So things are going to hang, and then as they go down, they're going to start getting wider, and things are going to get a little bit more gapped. Right? Does that make sense? And that's, so you can see like it looks like it's flowing a little bit more, and obviously that's very crude, it's very rudimentary. You know what? Hell, we'll leave that there for now because I might reference that later. Or it's something like a picture frame or something. Everything's gonna like fall away from a certain point. Or if it's, again, if it's something like under this guy's armpit, well, obviously his arm is gonna be touching this fabric, so it's gonna create tension, and that's where you're gonna get, you know, a broken up kind of feel. I don't like that. I typically like to have it like touching almost. So I don't know. It just makes it to me just look a little bit more, just a little bit sharper. Let's narrow this bad boy down. Do something like that. Something like that. Bingo, bango, bongo. All right, we are off and rolling on this guy. What did I say? I can't remember what I said this guy's name was. I should really pay attention to what I say when I draw. Ah, Skype, get the fuck out of here. I don't even have a webcam. Why the hell do I have Skype? You know what? I'm just gonna, for the sake of it, I'm just gonna get rid of that. There you go. Boo bam. Okay. Cool. All right. I like it. I like it. I like it. So now we're gonna throw in a little bit of this kind of trim, this very, very 1600s trim style. Wouldn't it be cool if that style came back? Like the musketeer style. Ah, that'd look so good. That'd be cool. I would love to walk around with like a big, cool, like musketeer hat without looking like a psycho. Because you know you would. If I was walking around town dressed as like a pirate, people would be like, that guy's insane. That guy's out of his mind. It's like, no, I just like that fashion style. Who the hell thought jeggings were a good idea? I mean, they are, because you can see girls' butts super easily. Thanks for that, jeggings and yoga pants. Ah! Whoever invented yoga pants should just get a standing ovation anywhere they go. Alright, and again, we're going to add some tension in there, because it really is, that's kind of where the crease is right in here, so we can add in just a little bit. Something like that. Something like that, something like that. Alright, alright. Alright, alright, alright. I keep getting older, they stay the same age. Yes, they do. Alright. It's my McConaughey. Is that good? I don't know if it's good or not. Here's one thing that I hate doing. I hate trying to make elliptical shapes, because I can never, like, get it right. It drives me crazy. 9 times out of 10, I'll just cheat and use, like, the elliptical tool. That one, that's not bad for kind of what I'm trying to accomplish. And again, we'll add in a little bit of... because again, there's going to be tension. That button's going to be pushing in, right? So it's going to have a little bit of tension. There we go, there we go. Oh, my wiener is hard. Sorry. Okay, how's that looking? How are we looking here? See, that looks alright. You want it to look natural. You want it to feel like it flows, right? Okay, so we are almost done this character. I think once I'm done drawing this guy, that'll wrap it up for this live stream. And then I'll keep doing some other stuff later on. But I do have other work that I got to get done. Unfortunately, I'd love to do this stuff all day, but it doesn't pay the bills. Okay, that looks alright. I'm not gonna have buttons on this side, because you gotta think it's probably gonna, like, that line there is gonna kind of continue on there. You know what we need? We need a really good pirate game. And luckily, there are a couple out there. We'll keep that in there as like a little nip. Oh, nip slip. What's up, girls? There are some really good pirate games out there. Obviously, like Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, and Rogue, and stuff like that are pretty good examples of that. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to see how well this actually works. I don't know if it will, but bear with me for 2 seconds. Sid Meier's Pirate's really cool. Black Wake is really cool. Yeah. I wanted to get Black Wake because there was a Steam sale the other day, and I didn't because even on sale it was still like $20, which again doesn't sound like a lot, but for like an alpha game that's like kind of an indie thing, it's like seeing how Guns of Icarus is like $1. I don't know. And again, I'm all about supporting like indie studios and stuff, but Black Wake to me looked like one of those games where it's like I need a group of like friends, like people that I actually know and can talk to and stuff, and not just randos. Because I have a feeling like when you play a game like that with just random people, there's always going to be that one person who gets really pissed off with you, which is exactly why I stopped playing League of Legends. Because it's just like it wasn't fun anymore. It just became like a fucking chore. It was just like another thing that I had to do. And if your friends aren't playing and you're playing online and you're just playing with random people, they're like, "Oh, you gotta be top." And it's like, shut up. Let me. I don't want the game to play me. I want to play the game. How's that sound? Is that fair? Okay, so let's blacken this in, and then I'm gonna take some. I think I'm gonna take the eraser tool and see how it works. But yeah, that's why I stopped playing League of Legends. I think I only put in like 30 hours or something, which is still too much. But I know people who still like go hard at LOL. People say, "Oh, you should play Dota," and it's like, to be honest, I just don't have time to play. I don't have time to throw myself like 14 million hours into a game. I just don't. I have a pretty short attention span with shit, as you probably have noticed. So we're gonna try this. We're gonna give this. I know it's like supposed to be like a tattoo, but whatever. Maybe it's worn out. There we go. That's looking cool. Even like Skyrim, like I loved Skyrim. I liked Oblivion better, but Skyrim was one of those games where like that. I think that's the most time I've really spent on just purely dicking around in a game. I mean, Black Flag and like Rogue, I've spent a good chunk of time trying to find like all the treasure chests and shit. All right, that looks all right. Okay, so I got to do his hat in his hand still. Good lord, you were taking forever and ever. I don't know. I have a hard time like sitting down and playing a game for that long. Okay. There we go. There we are. Okay, that's all right. Arm's okay. Again, I want that arm to be a little bit, just a slight thicker. And again, that line that I just like erased there really doesn't mean anything, but I'm sort of a perfectionist when it comes to like my lines and shit. Alright, I'm gonna knock this down a little bit. And again, I'm not super specific on like this line has to be like a 14 or something. I'm just gonna use something that I think will work. You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? There we go. We're just going to add this guy's bandana into here. Ooh. I'm going to add this one into here. Go across. Boom, bam. Give that a cool like bandana-y feel. If I were to ink that color, I don't know, probably be like red, maybe. Red bandana, that seems to be like the popular color for a bandana. I'm gonna add some hair in here. And we can get rid of this. So the hairline is going to go like that. Right. We'll add in something like that. Just some silly looking hair. Maybe I'll keep that hair out. I don't know if I like that or not. But I can change it later if needed. Okay. What do you think he's pointing? He's probably pointing at, like, oh, no, you can eat buffet over here. Let's go, guys. I don't... hang on, I'm going to save this as... sketch 1A. There. That's better. Now we gotta do his hat. Oh god. Okay. Let's bump it up just a little bit, because again, I want this hat to feel like it's got some weight to it. Oh no, I don't like that at all. I want it to come around just a little bit more. It's too much. Too much, stupid. What are you, stupid? Have that bandana kind of come up like that. And because it would appear we're kind of looking up at this guy, give it just a little bit of weight like that. Alright, that's alright. I'll have some of his hair on this side. Let's actually get closer to that. Alright, that's better. That's better. Everything's better with butter. Alright. Sorry, again, I just ramble when I go on about shit. This line. Whoa! Photoshop, easy. And I know that there are better programs out there. I've talked about it before. I just don't have the sweet, sweet moolah. So I just gotta use these things. So I gotta use, like, the ghetto version. And I don't mean that in a bad way. And sometimes using something that's not as good might even help you. Might help you sharpen and be a little bit more appreciative of the better tech out there. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Probably am. And again, I don't need to have every single line touching. It's not really important. Okay, so we can probably zoom out a little bit. That's alright. I don't like this. I don't like that. So let's get rid of that. Bam. Ha! You die now, line. That's a little bit better. Again, I don't need that. Don't need that exactly touching. Not a fan. Nah, don't like you. Not a fan of that shit. Okay, so let's go up and down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, girl. This guy's looking fine. Oh, you gonna take me to prom? I graduated a long time ago, sucker. Oh yeah, prom did just happen, didn't it? Ha! I'm so old. Okay, so we're gonna... Oh no! I erased too much. And... we're almost there. Home stretch, guys. Home stretch. Ah! I'm losing my mind. Now let's see. What are we gonna do with this line here? We are going to get rid of that portion because we don't need it. Nah, I don't like that. I don't like that. Not a fan. Not a fan. We can tighten up in here a little bit later. So now... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember being back in, like, elementary school. I was always that kid who was, like, doodling in my like, agenda and stuff. You know how an agenda was used to, you know, keep yourself organized? Not me. Not me. I was drawing, like, I don't even remember. I think I was drawing, like, Dragon Ball Z characters, because I'm pretty sure that's what I was into when I was, like, 12, or however old you are in, like, grade 6. I remember, oh my god, one of my favorite debates that I ever had about Dragon Ball Z was when it was shown, when Cell was shown for, like, the first time. I think there was, like, an image of him, like, leaked. And I don't even know how... at that point in time we saw it, because I don't think the internet was, like, in full force yet. go. But there was this huge debate that me and my buddy had of who Cell was. And again, being stupid kids and not realizing that Dragon Ball Z had been out for like years in Japan, we thought Cell was the guy, or I think he thought. I had a feeling that Cell was going to be a bad guy, and he was, so I was right. That Cell was going to be on Namek, and like he was going to show up during like the Frieza Goku fight, and he was going to be the guy that beat Frieza and like saves Goku. And boy, was one of us wrong. It was him, it wasn't me. I was super right. I knew what I was talking about. Shut up. Okay, so and then we'll add this little. Let's bump down the line weight just a little bit. That's better. That's better. That's better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Man, I haven't watched Dragon Ball Z in a long time. Probably should get back. I should probably Oh, you know what? No, I did rewatch like the first season because it's got my favorite character ever. And if you know anything about me, my favorite character is totally Raditz. And that's not even a joke. I think Raditz is like the most underutilized character ever. And they should do a movie where they bring Raditz back. And I don't know if I've talked about it before on the show, but I have this whole storyline where he like comes back. He's like the last pure Saiyan in the sense of like he still has his tail. He's not out to like destroy the universe or whatever. He's just like, I am a pure warrior and here we go. And he's just out to get revenge on Piccolo and Goku for essentially killing him. And it would be cool to see Raditz as like a Super Saiyan and see what he would look like. And I don't know, it would be cool to see him like talk down to Vegeta as like, no, he's not our prince anymore, and you know he's nothing to us. You know, he's a traitor to his own kind because he doesn't have his tail. And I don't know. I always thought that would be a really cool storyline because it's like, fuck, you keep bringing Frieza back. And Frieza is a cool character. Don't get me wrong, but I just thought it'd be cool to see more, like more Saiyan stuff. Let's get some more Saiyan shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Ha! Alright, so we are... Oh, I gotta finish the hand. That's right. Good lord. This is just the guy that just won't end. Alright, we're gonna do this hand really kind of quickly. So using me pointing this way. I'm gonna give him some of that, some of that. Oh yeah. Give him some kind of like stubby kind of fingers. He would have stubby fingers, don't you think? He would have those big, beefy pirate fingers. Know what I mean? Big beef fingers. Again, don't take that out of context. I'm giving you guys a lot of stuff where you can just like take it out of context and make like sound bites out of shit. I like big beefy fingers. Okay, we'll add that guy there. That's that. We are just about wrong. I don't want to spend too much time in this hand. But I think that's looking pretty good. Oh, yeah. Okay, how does this look? Oh yeah, I forgot I had that thing on the wall there. Okay, he's looking not too shabby. And then we got this guy up here who's like, argh. Alright, well, maybe next time, in the next stream, I'll ink this guy up here and maybe this guy. But for right now, I think that's going to wrap it up. That's just a brief little inking tutorial of line weights and me rambling on about nonsensical shit. I know I got a tattoo on this guy here. I don't know if I like that. Ah, fuck, you know what? Let's do it. I can't leave things unfinished. It'll bother me. We'll just do it quickly. It'll just be a rough looking tattoo. He got it on a boat while the boat was rocking around, so it's looking kind of rough. It's an LA ink tattoo. All right. And there's a buddy of mine, if you want to see a really good tattoo artist, and there's a ton of really good tattoo artists out there, check out Andrew Wilson. He's a buddy of mine, an acquaintance of mine from back at my high school era. Really good musician as well. I think he has his own tattoo shop kind of in town in Aurora here. Again, really good tattoo artist. Really, in general, just a really good artist. He was always doing some really cool, interesting work and stuff. So you can check his stuff out. I don't think I have him on Instagram, unfortunately. You know what? We'll put some like writing and stuff. Yeah, there we go. Speaking of tattoos, I always like the idea that pirates have like really important stuff written on their arms, but they don't know how to read. So it's like a really important thing, but they're like, I don't know how to read that. And this is a graphic design thing. I can't remember what this is called when you just like see how much I learned from graphic design. But it's you're just like drawing something in or words for like filler. It's just very quick gibberish lines. There we go, something like that. There we go. Now he looks a little bit more finished, a little bit more refined. Let's say that's a recipe for cookies. Boo bam. All right. Let's just sign this. Bang bang bingo bango bongo. All right, cool. All right. Well, I might do something with that guy later. I might ink him. I might, or not ink him. I might color him. But I'm thinking I might colorize these guys later, and I still have to finish that Star Trek page, so I might do that. I don't know if I'll do that on the stream or not. Anyway, thanks again for watching. You can follow me on YouTube at TenderGaming. You can follow me on Instagram at TenderGaming, on Patreon at Joel Chamberlain, and on DeviantArt, I think at just JTend, JTEND. And on Facebook as well at TenderGaming as well. So thanks again for watching this. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was entertaining and informative to some degree. Let's zoom in on this guy. I like this guy. I think he's silly. And I will see you all on the next live stream. I'm not sure when it's going to be. It might be later today. It might be in a couple days or whatever. But thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Leave me a comment on here as well, or on YouTube, or on Facebook. You can message me for any commission pieces, or on DeviantArt, anything like that. Yeah, so thanks again for watching, and you guys have yourself a great day. Until I see you next time, toodles. I totally messed up how I end things. I don't know how to end videos anymore. It's been too long. All right, anyway, we'll see you all next time. Bye. Goodbye.